Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com and of course the YouTube channel. As a reminder, NoDQ.com will have live coverage of TNA Turning Point this Sunday night, so make sure you stay tuned to NoDQ.com for all the latest details. Right now, let's get down to your questions. This is from Flat Xbox 17. Aaron, huge news! I'm watching the election results right now and guess what? Linda McMahon lost to Chris Murphy. Do you see WWE returning to TV 14 due to this, since Vince no longer is under pressure to keep WWE PG? I have gotten flooded with so many questions, and it was inevitable that people would be asking me about this, so let's make it crystal clear right now. No, WWE is not ending PG. The whole PG aspect of WWE has nothing to do with Linda McMahon running for Senate. WWE pulling YouTube videos of the Attitude Era, stuff like Katie Vick, that had something to do with Linda McMahon running for Senate. WWE was trying to downplay some of their most extreme moments and not mention them and get them removed from the internet. That definitely had something to do with Linda McMahon. But as far as WWE in general being PG, not having the blood, not using a lot of profanity, that has to do with WWE and their sponsors. WWE has a relationship with companies like Mattel, and it is in their best interest financially to be PG right now. It's just the way it is in WWE. That's what they need to do to make the money. So they're not going to jeopardize losing those sponsors to please a small minority of longtime fans that grew up on the Attitude Era. And there's just not going to be another Attitude Era. People need to let it go. It's done. One day there might be another era, something that's revolutionary that changes the business. But for now, WWE is going to play it safe and try to focus on what they do. They are a business and they are trying to make money. So PG is not going anywhere. When will the hardcore belt return? This plays into the previous question. The hardcore belt would serve no purpose in today's WWE. If they were to bring back the hardcore belt, what exactly could they do? It's not like they can do all those extreme matches that people would expect if the hardcore title was to return. If you bring back the hardcore belt, people would expect barbed wire and lots of blood and thumbtacks and all that stuff, and WWE's just not going to do that. So there really is no point in bringing back the hardcore title. Will it return someday? There's always a possibility, but the likelihood is that it will not return, and bringing it back now would be equivalent to trying to relaunch ECW. When you have no intentions of doing it the way it used to be done, then you really shouldn't do it at all. This is from BCruz16. Hey Aaron, with Great Khali returning, do you think WWE will have some sort of push for him? I really don't think so. One thing I noticed about Great Khali on SmackDown the other week was that he really didn't seem to be as in good of shape that he used to be. And, you know, the guy is, he's not a young rookie. He's getting up there, and he's a big guy, and his body is going to break down faster than a smaller person. It's just going to take more of a toll on him. And I just really sense that his health is starting to decline, and he already got his big push in WWE, and I don't think that they're going to reinvest all their resources into him to try to push him as a monster again. It's a been there, done that type of deal with him. And I just don't see him being a major player in WWE again. I think that they're keeping him around on the roster because of his size and his freakish nature. And he's still a guy that can come out on SmackDown or at a live event, and people in the crowd will be like, oh my God, this guy is huge. So, I mean, that's why they keep him around, and I think we'll continue to see him every now and then, but it's not like he's going to be the big deal that he once was. This is from Ryu Sama XXX. What is your opinion on the whole Jeff Hardy versus Matt Hardy feud back in WWE around WrestleMania 25? I thought when it started out it was okay, but after that it was just kind of okay, but it lost its steam. I knew when Matt Hardy first turned on Jeff Hardy at the Royal Rumble in 2009, I knew that feud was not going to go very far and it wasn't going to be a huge success. WWE had already tried breaking up the Hardy Boys 7 years earlier, like late 2001. They did the whole storyline where they split off, and there was like this triangle, love triangle, whatever you want to call it, with Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, and Lita, and it didn't work out, and they quickly reunited, and then during the brand extension, they went their separate ways. The thing is, Matt Hardy, like Jeff Hardy, is not very good at playing a heel character. And the whole storyline that they did, it made no sense, and it was a last-minute decision. You know, I've talked about this before on NoDQ&AV video, how WWE changes plans too often, and it hurts the storyline. And in this case, WWE changed plans because it had leaked out on the internet that Christian was coming back, and that Christian was going to be the guy that was behind the Jeff Hardy attacks. And when WWE found out about this, they decided to swerve everybody, and Matt Hardy ended up taking Christian's role, and Christian took Matt Hardy's role on ECW as the head of that brand. And so it didn't make a whole lot of sense, and Matt Hardy just doesn't play heel very well. And when they did the match at WrestleMania, it was okay, but it was nothing special. And yeah, I knew it wouldn't last very long. And sure enough, Matt Hardy was once again a babyface before too long. I mean, Matt Hardy did okay with the whole version 1 gimmick that he did for a brief time. I mean, that was okay as a mid-card act, but when he's feuding with Jeff Hardy, and Jeff Hardy is close to that main event level, and he's been the world champion, it just didn't work out on a main event level, I don't think. Hey Aaron, what were the best years of the Attitude Era? The early years of 97 to 99 or 99 to 2001? I prefer the early years. Please answer on video. Thanks. I'd have to say that the early period was the best. 1997, 1998, those were the best years for the Attitude Era, because that was when everything was fresh and cutting edge and extremely exciting time to be a wrestling fan. You had the Monday Night Wars at its peak, so WWE was pulling out all the stops to compete with WCW, and you really got the best product from WWE, not just WWE, but WCW as well. It was just a great time to be a wrestling fan, because you had two companies that were they were at war. They were doing everything possible to get the viewers to watch their show. And WWE, from a creative standpoint, was breaking new ground. The Bret Hart versus Stone Cold storyline, and then the whole Vince McMahon versus Steve Austin feud throughout 1998. Just a lot of great moments, and a lot of barriers were broken. And by the time 1999 rolled around, you know, it started feeling a little bit stale. And once WWE was in a dominating position in the Monday Night Wars, they didn't really feel the need to take as many chances, and it did water down the product a little bit. And you know, when you start seeing the same thing over and over again, it was like a been there, done that type of deal, and it just wasn't as exciting in 2000 and 2001 as it was in 97 and 98. But it was still a great product. And but yeah, I would definitely say 97, 98 was their peak creatively. This is from Bucci9. I will not ask you to answer in video. Thanks for that. But I will ask you, what do you think about William Regal saying he has a, quote, fire lit under him and that he will get back in shape and compete again? I think a William Regal comeback would be interesting. Do I think that he will become a major superstar again? Probably not. But if he was to get back into ring shape, because, I mean, it did look like he was a little bit out of shape on SmackDown, that tag match. But I suppose that he could do a comeback. I would not rule that out. When you look at somebody like Fit Finlay, I thought he was all but done. He was just an agent, a behind-the-scenes guy, and then just like that, he came back and got a huge push on SmackDown and had a career resurgence. So it could definitely happen for somebody like William Regal, where he could come back and have one last solid run. I would not rule that out, and I think he could definitely pull it off. So we'll see. This is from BCruz16. Hey Aaron, what are your thoughts on a potential Carlito return? I wouldn't mind seeing it. It would be cool from a nostalgic point of view, but I know that him and WWE are on good terms still, and that the door is open for him to return. But I just don't know if they're going to invest in him again like they did during his first run, 2004, 2005. But he's been gone for so long that they could come back and just give him a huge push, and he could be successful. And Carlito was one of those guys when he first got started in WWE that you thought maybe this guy had potential to be a major superstar. And then Carlito got frustrated that they weren't utilizing him all that much, and his career just slowly declined over the years. So it's always possible, like William Regal, that they could bring him back and just put the corporate machine behind him and push him again, and maybe he could amount to something big. You never really know for sure. This is from 5K Rappy. All right, this is a two-parter here. Hey Aaron, JBL mentioned the Von Erichs rivalry with the Freebirds. I've noticed a lot of wrestlers from the Attitude through Extension era say that this rivalry was a big reason why they got into wrestling in the first place. And the second part here, most of the superstars today are clearly not old enough to remember this rivalry. So what rivalry or superstar do you think they will say was the rivalry or superstar that got them into wrestling? I think that a lot of today's wrestlers, you look at their age, they're in their early 20s, so they probably grew up with 90s WWE and WCW, so I'm sure that Shawn Michaels is going to be one of the top, if not the top influence for a lot of the guys breaking into WWE today. I'm sure that they were kids growing up watching him in the Iron Man match with Bret Hart and the ladder matches with Razor Ramon. And certainly Bret Hart as well. And, of course, even guys that have already come and gone, like Batista, they broke into wrestling as fans of the Attitude Era with Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. So you're going to be seeing a lot of guys now coming into the wrestling business that grew up on the Attitude Era, and it might frustrate them a little bit. I mean, Batista has been very outspoken about how WWE today is not the product that he grew up, well, not grew up on, he was already an adult, but, that he became a fan watching the Attitude Era, and then it changed when he was in the business. So I could see some guys discouraged that WWE today is not the WWE that they watched growing up. But I still think that a lot of guys are going to be influenced and are going to want to be involved. And definitely Stone Cold, The Rock, Triple H, all these guys are going to be major influences for guys breaking into the business today. All right, that'll wrap it up for this edition of No DQ&A Video. Subscribe, youtube.com/NoDQ&CAW. Spread the word, Facebook and Twitter. And I'll see you next time for more No DQ&A Video.